Dad is still as bald as Uncle Fester, Mom still wiggles her hips like Morticia, and Aunt Dee swears that Great Aunt Deliria was engaged to a chimp, which means Spank could very well be a long-lost relative. Ari sighed. Spank's a capuchin, not a chimp. And your last name once was Costas. Nothing is as it seems, Zoe said, laughing. She's got a point, their mother Elena said, joining her daughters just as Spank's first act ended. Hi, Mom, Ari said. Hi, Zoe echoed. My beautiful girls. Elena enveloped them in a hug, made more suffocating by the long, flowing sleeves of the kimonos she favored now that she'd packed away her Morticia Adams black dresses. Zoe supposed the outfits had something to do with owning a spa and working as a licensed masseuse, but she wasn't certain what that connection was any more than she knew why her mother had decided to wear her geisha girl outfit to Sam's birthday party. And darned if she'd ask. Nobody could stop Elena's wacky ways, and in truth, nobody tried. In their small hometown of Ocean Isle, New Jersey, everyone expected the Costas family to act, well, odd. Zoe had long since stopped trying to figure out their eccentric mother. She'd rather just love her instead. I've come up with the perfect name for your new business, Elena said to Zoe. After years of working for the Secret Service, protecting government officials visiting New Jersey, she'd begun to chafe under the tight rules and regulations. No surprise there, since she was a Costas and liked to do things her own way. Her new business would give her the opportunity to do just that. She and her partners would be protecting visiting stars and dignitaries on their trips to Atlantic City's casinos. I heard that. Quinn, Ari's ex-cop husband, came up beside his wife and pulled her against his side. What wacky idea have you got this time? He asked his mother-in-law. Elena raised her arms as though on stage. Safe sex. Protection is our business, she said, punctuating each word with her hands. So, what do you think? Her mother asked, smiling proudly at her idea. Quinn blinked. His hazel eyes focused on Elena as if she were insane, although he knew better. He'd married Ari knowing full well the family was merely eccentric. Connor Brennan, who Zoe hadn't realized had joined them, choked on his cola. Connor was Quinn's best friend. They'd grown up in the same foster care system and had worked together as detectives for the police department. As partners with Zoe in the new venture, both Connor and Quinn had a vested interest in the business Elena wanted to name. Zoe knew better than to dignify her mother's idea with a response, or she'd start expanding on it, and before Zoe knew it, a safe sex sign would be hanging over their new office space, and the cops would arrive to shut them down. Mom, don't you have more important things to do, like corralling Sam's friends for cake? She pointed to the group of teenage girls gathered in the yard. Good idea. I'll get the kids, Ari said, escaping while she had the chance. Elena patted Zoe's cheek. Okay, I can see you aren't ready to talk business. Later then. But you should think about registering the name before somebody else takes it. Like who, a porn shop? Zoe asked, raising an eyebrow. Quinn shook his head and laughed. He'd always enjoyed his in-laws much more than any man should. I think I'll go help Ari gather the troops. Not yet. Elena waved an arm in the air, her long sleeve blowing in the summer breeze. I have one more game for the girls to play before we sing Happy Birthday and open presents, Elena said. Connor adjusted his sunglasses on the bridge of his nose. What game is that? You'll be sorry you asked, Quinn promised his friend. Zoe nodded. Undeterred, Elena pulled out a red cutout heart from one of her kimono pockets. Since they're too old for pin the tail on the donkey, they're going to pin the heart on Orlando Bloom, she said, pronouncing heart on so quickly the phrase sounded like